Let's get started. So I'm going to share my screen, guys, because we've just got a few slides. It's mostly just about the flow of the session and to give you an idea as to what it's all about. Something to look back at later if there's any bits and pieces in there that. Who we got?
Chelsea.
Hey, Charles.
Hi. Sorry,
Hey,
I'm
Charles, how
late.
you going?
Good, thanks. How are you guys?
We were just getting started, mate. So all good. I'm just going to kick on. Righty. So welcome to the Coaching Collective, you guys. We are really, really excited about kicking this off today. So thanks for making the time to jump in on the call. So let's get started. So just today, the things we're going to cover are essentially where we came from. So you guys may not be aware of all of that, but it's quite a journey. What our vision and purpose is, what TCC is, or the Coaching Collective is, and what we would like it to become, who we are, and then what to expect next from that. So apologies for Ed and I sort of not facing the camera. The camera's over here, but we're looking at our slides, which is over here. So we'll try and look back at the camera a little bit every now and then.
It's also new.
So just so you know, we are talking to you guys. Yeah. All right, let's get started. So I decided to start this slide with the Facebook group because that's the part that you guys are aware of. And Marty J is responsible for this. And it was a great little idea to start bringing coaches together into a common space, literally without any structure, just to start sharing some ideas and resources in and around the space. So kudos to Marty for kicking that off. We've been talking, and when I say we, Marty, myself, and Ed have been talking for a little while about some sort of collaboration. And I started to think about the roots of this and what this idea is during the week. And I guess for Ed and myself, bar going like right back into our individual history, the first foray or the first part of this that started together was MAP. And I don't know, Jenna maybe and Marty maybe have an idea about what that is. But essentially back when COVID kicked us out of the gym for a little while and we had to do stuff a little bit remotely, we had some time to look at some education, and MAP was born of that. So we started to look at a way that we could improve the assessment piece for our clients, having a look at how they move, and then taking that obviously into some movement improvement. I guess, without digging too deep into that essentially was the beginning of maybe, I guess, the education piece that is going to become a very prominent part of the Coaching Collective. From there, like there's been individual learning. I always tend to gravitate towards the business side of personal training, and Ed's been very dedicated, especially recently, in covering off some biomechanics and really digging into what our clients' bodies need and how they work. And with all what we started to realize is with those with those individual experiences, we began coming together and sharing our experiences and becoming better as individuals and becoming better then together as well. And so we saw this opportunity to share even beyond ourselves.
Yeah, I think I'll just jump in on that, like to back that up. Like I think one of the things that really came out of the continual education side of stuff for me and Paulie, and showing an interest in sort of, and we'll kind of get to the point around that, and obviously having a group of coaches, and to the point of this to grow the community of coaches, is that we were pouring passion, and we pour passion into our clients all the time. And it's really cool to have Jen on here, Marty on here, clients of mine, obviously coaches, Marty coaches before that, Jen as well, and like learning and coming through. But to be able to share our knowledge and our passion with coaches. So, like you'll pour your heart and soul into your clients, and they love it and they appreciate it and they're grateful for the work that you do. But this kind of group is more designed around the meta impact that we can have with developing coaches in all aspects of the role of a coach, the role of a trainer for your clients, for the gym that you work at, whatever that may be, and how you can provide a better service. And Paulie will get into that a little bit as well regarding sort of, and Jen being in sort of the process of the Cert 3 and 4 at the moment, but seeing sort of a lack of almost readiness to jump into what it means and what it kind of takes to be a coach in the industry these days. And that's where we want to kind of like slot into that. So kind of from our work together, our enjoyment on sort of similar things in terms of what you can get into within the fitness industry, right? Like as soon as you get out of Cert 3 and 4, it's like, it's whatever you find your passion for, you can kind of dive into. There's no straight line down, like as soon as you do 3 and 4, there's no next thing. So I guess, one of the big things is that we want to be able to create, particularly for people that are fresh into the industry, is to say, have a community that they can jump into. As you guys would have experienced with just the Facebook group, where you might have a question as a newbie. Hey, I've got a client with XYZ. Does anyone in the industry have any experience with that? And to be able to help someone in that manner is just giving back to, potentially what we didn't have when we first started. So, and a big goal of this is to leave it better off than we kind of started with it. So that's a big intent for us with the coaching collective, just to kind of follow off from Marty, from Paulie. But that learning and that individual learning has kind of led us into, I think, summarizing that, we froth on, we'll be in the gym all day chatting to each other about the nitty gritties of the craft of what it means to be a coach. And in particular at the moment with like movement stuff, it's kind of been like the jam for a little while, but all things coaches. And I think it's just wanting to branch out into what we feel is our community, right? We can have our own individual gyms and this and that, but I think our community is coaches. So that's the whole point of the collective, which is, this coaching collective from coaches for coaches. And that's kind of what the whole point is.
Great little segue there.
Oh, boom.
A segue into the vision. So, we've been bashing around ideas about the coaching collective and the vision, and we'll get to the purpose in a minute. I'll hand back to Ed to speak to that. But the thought around it is literally what we've just spoken about as to where it came from. So it's to create that community where coaches can come to not only consume, I guess, or to get expertise, but every single one of you has experience and has something to offer in regards to what you've seen and your own filter. And no two situations are the same ever, and it's just always super beneficial to myself as an individual, as a coach, to hear about those experiences and to put that into what I do and how I do it. And I hope that the community can become the same for you guys as well. So this is our vision in regards to what the coaching collective is hopefully going to become. Did you want to add any more to that?
No, it's just kind of like you said, a good runway off the back of what I was saying before. But that's the whole point. And again, like we'll talk about later in the track, that it's going to start off with some of the team that you'll meet now, but our team is, this is just the start, right? There's 4 people on this call. Our goal is to grow this, as big as we can and help as many people as we can. And that means that we want all of you guys to be a part of the team, the community. Like Paulie said, share your experiences. Everyone's got something to offer. Everyone's experiences are different. Everyone's got a voice. And I think the more that we can share that, and the more that we can get out of sometimes our little bubbles that we get into in our safe places with the places that we work or the communities that we surround ourselves in. There's so much information out there. And I think almost another thing as well, helping people filter the amount of information that is out there to being maybe what's most relevant for the question, the scenario that kind of pops up. I think, especially, you know, you hear a lot, or like young, even for your clients, but maybe young coaches coming up, is, you know, there's like TikTok, there's Insta, there's, you know, it's just YouTube. There's so many ways that you can learn, and sometimes it does become overwhelming. So hopefully, whether, like we said, it's just someone flicks in a question, hey, I saw XYZ, thoughts, and we can relay in some information there. But that's really all we want to just create that for, is to have people have a sounding board, and to help them kind of learn and purely from experiences and shared knowledge. Yeah.
Do you want to keep speaking to
for sure. So obviously, like, me and Paulie have been working together now for 5 years, 6 years.
Oh yeah.
In the same space.
Yeah.
6 years since I've moved down to Dunsborough. So as Paulie's kind of quoted here, I'll kind of read it out. So for you guys are covering up that last word, I can't see it, but so purpose: to be connected to something bigger than ourselves, allowing us to stretch our reach, our connection, our impact to anything greater than we could ever do as individuals. So this was the purpose for me starting my business in Dunsborough, Odyssey Southwest. I work a lot with people in pain, coming back from injury, sort of particularly in that last bit of, they've tried everything. A lot of people kind of just go through our recommended healthcare system with sometimes little to no results. And I was one of those persons myself when I was younger, coming off the back of a pretty bad back injury. And I ran that race, and I went through, and I kind of worked on through that on my own journey. And it's just it's a passion and a purpose of mine to be able to help and give back to people that have been and are in the same situation. So that's Odyssey Southwest, and kind of my niche and things that I will be sharing in courses that I've done myself to hopefully help you guys with any clients that you may have, or just give another perspective on. But this purpose of mine, I feel, you know, it is for Odyssey Southwest, but it's always the whole point of being something connected to bigger than myself wasn't to stop there. It wasn't to say like Odyssey Southwest was it. And I just think sitting down with Paulie and having these chats and talking about the coaching collective, this just fit really nicely into the fact that this again can have that bigger meta impact, that we can be a part of something that's way bigger than anything that all of us could do as individuals, right? And it'll kind of keep coming back to that purpose of are we spreading good news? Are we helping more people? Are we preaching the right stuff? You know, can we, like I said before, can we leave this sort of industry in a better shape, or at least have an impact on someone, one person that kind of runs through the doors? And that for me it means that I get to be part of something bigger than I could ever do by myself. And I hope that we can kind of share that purpose and spread that word of just, good vibes, helping each other out. Because I know, and speaking from a couple of with other coaches in the past, like it can sometimes become pretty lonely in the industry when, you might be a PT and you're working out of a space and your clientele is your community, but outside of that, it's not a lot else, right? Like you're just there on the grind, early mornings, long days, writing programs, feeling sometimes overwhelmed. And if you can feel like you've got something that you're connected to a little bit more in the scope of the rest of those people are exactly in your boat as a coach or as a trainer, wherever you're at in your journey, that's kind of, the goal with this, which I'm excited for.
Cool. So we've spoken a bit about the online community. So that's it. You know, we are the coaching collective. That's the goal, is not any one person here, not a small group of people here. We're all the collective, and aligning the group with the purpose, the vision. That's the direction we want to head. So I'm not going to hang on this anymore.
No, that was it. Pretty much already covered it.
Yeah, cool. All right, let's get into it. So the practicalities of what to expect. You know, these are our ideas right now, but this is dynamic. This can become as big as we want it to be, or, you know, as anything that we want it to be. We're going to get things started with a little bit more structure coming up shortly. So the ideas are some live lectures, education around all sorts of topics, not just the human body. So think big, think whatever you're into. Trust me, there's people out in the collective that aren't and would love to hear about. So like I said, we're going to get things started with the live lecture, and I'll talk a bit about Ed's first one in a little bit. Another idea and something we're really excited about doing is some in-person coaching sessions. And so we're not talking about, coming into a room and sitting down and, copping a whole bunch of information from any of the coaches talking. We're actually talking about, hey, let's jump in the gym. Let's actually do some movement. Let's use ourselves as some learning, for some learning, and our own bodies for some learning. And I think I said to you, Jess, come and join a bro sesh. And I'm not sure you knew what that meant, but that's actually what that means is, come and jump in and actually train together so you can sort of see, what types of things that Ed and I actually belt off each other when we're in the gym and lifting and moving, and that's where all the magic happens. And so we want to share that with you guys as well. So keep an eye out for some of those being booked in. And then I had the idea of special events. So it's something that one of my mentors, Propane Fitness, has been doing with their cohort in regards to essentially coming together in person and having a shared topic or something that's, either a round table or, a discussion point where it's like a deep dive or a team building type event. But, those types of things will actually bolster the connection in the community, and it just gives everyone an opportunity to network and grow that education piece. So, keep an eye on this space. This is for the moment high level, and we're in the throes of already organising some of these. But like I said, the sky's the limit on this. It can be whatever we want.
Just go back on that one. Yeah, just on that, just a bit of specificity on maybe
No, I've gone too far now. How do I get back?
When you work with monkeys.
You keep talking. I'm gonna go back somehow.
So yeah, just to probably expand on the lecture stuff. Just to expand on the lecture stuff. I guess the idea, and we've kind of riddled that off a little bit with having the team of coaches and stuff that you'll kind of meet, and we'll do that in a second and get to know a little bit more about each of us. But those lectures are going to be specialty in terms of what that coach's niche is and what that person has maybe been working on, what course have they just run, just their general interest or experiences from the industry. So, as an example, mine will probably be more based around the recent course I've done with a company called Prescript. This is all about biomechanics of resistance training. So doing a little bit of understanding around anatomy, application of function of certain joints, muscles, and how that kind of correlates out to squatting. So we might touch on some mechanics through that stuff. We'll have lectures on nutrition. We're going to have lectures on maybe it's branding or marketing, weightlifting, technique work, anything that you guys want to see as well, in particular with helping us kind of get this thing off the ground, firing away, right? So any questions that pop up, a great chance to just do something like a lecture, could be like a Q&A. So someone might have a really good question that we want to dive into. And I just think from both parties that it's going to help us learn so much, because there's going to be questions out there that we probably don't talk about in our own little network of spaces, and someone may have. And that's one of probably the biggest things that I'm excited for. And we'll talk about how that'll expand out when we kind of maybe grow and the need for it outside of the Facebook Messenger chat comes up. But having sort of own individual down the road will be something like having own individual channels for nutrition chat or technique work, post a training video up of yourself if you're having anything going on, and someone can jump on and get back to you with some info or anything that can kind of help. Literally want that sort of style of feedback, connection, helping, and that's kind of the intention with those. And just off the back of that, sometimes the live lectures, potentially we're aiming for the first one, might be the practical session is going to be around the application of what you guys learn in the theory lecture. So again, for say this first one coming up, the idea is going to be for me to run sort of a lecture on squatting mechanics and how that pertains to hip function in terms of squatting mechanics, and then for us to actually get in the gym and run you guys through how that looks in person and how you can kind of take that away and work on that with your clients when and how you see fit. and if that kind of fits in with you. But that's sort of the level that we're kind of thinking about and working on towards at the moment. You can go.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Me. Oh, so, I'm at the top of the list.
All right. Let me just go high level. Essentially the founding team, the crew that have been speaking about TCC from a structured perspective in regards to lectures and some of these bits and pieces around education that we've got coming up. These 4 people here, and 3 of them are here. Summer sends her apologies. She wasn't able to join. She's actually doing a course this weekend on remedial massage.
Yeah, that's cool.
She's doing a massage course. So I'm looking forward to some of that content coming through the collective shortly as well. You're on. All right, I'll hand over to Eddie. He's just going to do quick spiel, and we'll go from there.
So that's me, Ed Hamilton. I've been in the fitness industry now for just over 11 years. Coming into the fitness industry, I started up in a place. I was pretty fortunate, and sort of like where the passion came from the line of work that I'm in now. I started working at a place called Range of Motion in Perth. This was under the guidance of a man named Dan Williams, which some of you may know. Coming off the Cert 3 and 4, like I said, where I felt like there was sort of a lacking of information, I was really shocked how much I learned in the first 2 to 3 weeks of the practical application of things in person at that gym at Range of Motion. So Dan, coming from the background of sort of injury rehab, exercise physiology, really sparked my interest in sort of how we use movement as medicine, how to assess dysfunction and apply a strength and conditioning protocol to improve that dysfunction. And then I guess since that point, I was there for 5 years. I took some time away. I actually took 6 months off and kind of just gave up coaching for a little while. And that was sort of the burnout. I was 24 at the time. I wasn't really doing much else. I was just fully into work and training. And I just took some time, reset it, came back, moved down to Dunsborough, found my now fiance. Now we have 2 kids. Life's pretty sweet. Met this guy, started chatting some shit. And then, like we already kind of spoke about, been good buds and been best buds since, and just developing our passion for that line of work. And then I guess that's kind of what led me into creating Odyssey off the back of Matt, like we've sort of spoken about already. So not to dive too much into that, but yeah, that's just kind of my background. And like I said, where you'll kind of see me push into with my information that's coming across, which is going to be relevant to sort of movement mechanics, addressing dysfunctions, addressing clients' pains, giving you guys sort of a better framework in sort of how to assess and then make better decisions going forward for your clients. That's going to be probably where I'm going to put like a lot of my attention into this group. And yeah, we've already kind of spoken about it for the vision of TCC, but just being able to have that community of like-minded people. There's nothing I enjoy more than sharing information with the people I know that are going to be using it and being able to apply that to others. So as I said, I love my team. I love my clients. I love my crew. And I will always give, 100% of my knowledge and education there, but to have the meta impact of being able to help others who are helping others, that's a really big passion of mine. So that's me in a nutshell. Hand it over to this
Cool. Man. All right. Hey guys, I'm Paul, and I run Southwest Fitness. I've been running that business for around about 7 years now from the movement in Dunsborough. The journey the fitness journey didn't start there. I just before that had started, or just before that, so within a year or two of that, left my previous career in information technology and took up an opportunity to do my CrossFit Level 1. That was my first certification, and started coaching CrossFit out of the Geograph Leisure Centre here in Bosso. So the first foray then led to the coordinator there asking if I'd be interested in helping them out with some further classes and gym functions. So I did my certs, and the IT to PT change gets a little bit of interest from people. They're like, oh, that's an interesting change. So let's talk a little bit about the IT bit. The fitness part came from my interest. I had been training in CrossFit for a little while before that, and it's actually how Marty and I reconnected. We grew up together back in Collie, and it's kind of how I know Jenna as well, actually. So we're all Collie crew. Don't hold that against us. And yeah, so the IT industry being what it is, not a super active industry. And I split that between people and tech. So I started to move more and more and more into the people side of the business development, sales, etc. And that, I believe, has been a driving force in leading me to personal training, because it's a people business. It 100% is about the relationships we have, not only with our clients, but also other coaches. And yeah, you can start to see where this comes into the coaching collective and those connections. So I started out as a yes PT. So I just wanted to get my hands on everybody and coaching everybody. But I've definitely settled into a niche of myself, which I'm 43 now. So I guess I look at my client or my ideal client as being not necessarily male, although I did and have been sort of leaning towards that direction. But I've got plenty of female clients in that kind of longevity space, longevity, capacity, capability space, and that's really where I lean into and what I enjoy in regards to training clients is keeping them functional, keeping them keeping their capacity high, and keeping them capable into older age. So when I think about the coaching collective, I froth on being able to sit down with another coach, and I've done this multiple times over the last 7 years, and talk about the things that are getting them stuck in regards to running their businesses. And it's not how to coach clients. You know, that's something they're generally passionate about and dive into learning a lot about. But it's all the other nitty gritty stuff. You know, it's the systems, and it's the business side of things, and how to structure packages. And I love all of that stuff. That's obviously come from my previous life. And just having a general interest in business and that side of things. So there's a lot of that. I completely froth on learning from and with this guy. It's just such a pleasure to spend, you know, at least 3 to 4 sessions a week, at least, just talking and growing. And I'm not just talking physically. Yeah, we're growing, we're getting the guns. Yeah. But growing as individuals, as humans, and as coaches. So I want to share those experiences, and I want to hear from all of you in regards to what you can bring to the table for TCC as well.
Marty Jones.
Yeah,
you're on.
Martin.
Martin. Yes, I am Marty, as you guys all know. I have been in the industry for between 6 and 7 years, I guess. Was coaching in a gym until recently. I've started my own online programming stuff, so it's Circle Syndicate stuff, and some people in this chat are in that programming. I am also the strength and conditioning coach for the Collie Eagles Football Club. So I coach those guys 1 to 2 days a week up there, trying to help them build strength and things for their games when that comes around. And then I'm very soon going to be starting at a new gym. I'm going to give Exemplar a go over to Exemplar and try some stuff over there. So I may get back into the coaching stuff once I've settled in there, if I'm happy there, but I'm not really sure about that yet. I've got some other stuff that I've been working on. I've always loved the competition scene. So I'm looking at some different ways that I can compete for starters, but then I also have some thoughts around possibly programming for teams later on down the track. So taking teams under the wing and training them up for a year or so for a comp, something like that. But I'm also working on getting into more of the other sides. So lead judging, running comps, that sort of stuff. So I went to I went to Down Unders last year as the appeals manager. And out of that, I've sort of got in contact with All Stars, and I've actually been doing some work for All Stars this week. And going into next week, we're trying to figure out some location stuff and possibly who's going to run All Stars from here on in. So I've been doing a bit of work with those guys, and that's sort of what I'm hoping to get into as well, is the higher level sort of work that's done around the big competitions. So Torian is one I'm trying to get into as well, into a role there as well. So just some stuff that I've been looking at doing in the future, I guess. Obviously, the other job I have is closing down soon, so I need to figure out sort of what I want to do, and this is the industry I want to work in. So just making that dream come true, I guess. My niche or specialty, generally speaking, because I'm a CrossFit coach, but I'm also an AWF coach, so I do love a bit of weightlifting, whether it's your Olympic lifting or any other type of lifting that goes with that. I really love that stuff. It's awesome, and it's been something that I've really dived into. But I think, going forward, it'll still be there, but it might be more of the competition stuff and running comps and that sort of stuff. So, so especially at the moment would be more the weightlifting, but might be changing over time. And then just to cover quickly sort of the vision of the TCC, if I go back to where this did start, it actually started with Chelsea's training partner, Beck. So I had an issue with Beck in her squat, and I could not figure out what was going on. So loaded a video into my laptop and took it down with me when I was training with Eduardo. And I've basically, had the laptop out, and I said, boys, what is going on here? And these two fellas had like one look, and they're like, yeah, it's quad strength. You've just got to build that up. And we went into how to change that. And that started the conversation about, coaches helping coaches. So I think a lot of the time in this industry, people are competing against each other. I'm the best, knowledge shared is power lost, all that sort of stuff. And I think that's a mistake. I think like if we can help each other, we all become better coaches, and everyone benefits from that. It builds us all up. So I think another thing that I thought was thinking about while Ed was talking earlier about his sort of journey. He worked under Dan. I now mentor under Dan, and I know other people know Dan. They've worked with Dan as well. I think that the network is there. We're just formalizing it. So we're just sort of putting something around it that we can all benefit from, because we're already talking to each other. We're already helping each other. So let's go further. And I think it's exciting to have a bit of a library. Within a year's time, we're probably going to have 26 or more sort of videos you can watch that educate. So if there's, it's over time, we're going to have this library of stuff that we can all sort of lean back on when we need to, which I think is really cool.
Cool. Thanks, Marty J.
Love that.
Awesome. We will, Sum's going to be in and around, so we'll have a chat to her about dropping something in the group so you guys get to know Sum a bit better if you don't already. So
it's my fault too, team, because we were supposed to have this meeting Friday night and I forgot I had plans. So I ruined everything. Sorry.
Ruined everything. Rightio. So what's next? We just very briefly, all communications and info is going to continue to go through the Facebook group for now. The reason we say that is because we have been bashing around some ideas about a different platform, not Facebook Messenger, but just watch this space. We'll let you know if anything changes there, obviously, being the community in the one place. Are you going to talk about code of conduct? Yeah, you want to talk about
I want to talk about code of conduct.
So this is not just like for you guys. Obviously, we're recording this, and hopefully that anyone jumps in, we'll point them to this Zoom recording, just so that this is really important, because Marty mentioned it in a meeting the other day. We don't want this group to become a kind of like the dumping ground for funny memes and so on and so forth. So it loses its actual effectiveness in regards to what the vision is and what the purpose is. So excuse the dog. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be, super strict. You don't have to go stressing about it, but we would like to have some guidelines and kind of stick to those. So, common courtesy and respect to everyone. Everyone is entitled to an opinion. And I encourage everyone to just be open and take on what people are talking about with, open eyes, open hearts, and, understand that everyone's coming from a different place. So if there's something that gets you offside that you don't agree with, rather than using the group to smack it out, let's cover that in a more open-minded way, and ensure that everybody is getting heard, so that it doesn't lose its purpose.
Yeah. And just on that, again, we're doing this out of the passion that we have for coaches. The time that's going into this is all from our own time, our own passion, our own drive to get something off the ground that is, non-existent at the moment. So in terms of dealing with stuff like that, discriminating comments, aggressive language, anything like that starts trickle feeding into this group will be immediately removed. And I'll be happy to remove you myself, and I'll be happy to talk to you outside of the group chat for anyone that's coming on board. But yeah, there just won't be, it'll be like a zero tolerance, right? Because it's our time, it's your time. And I know what we're trying to build here is going to be something special, and anything that's looking at pulling that down will just be easily kind of taken out and discussed outside of it. But coming from that side of just making sure that everyone's aware of those things, that this is important, this is something that we want to make and feel is really relevant to the now, like Marty was saying, in terms of it's so much competition out there that on the flip side of that, let's just get back to sharing and being a community of what we are, which is coaches, and we're all in there in the trenches every day, working with our clients and working with, maybe it's at the classes or whatever it is. So just getting back to that.
Cool. So we've got a mailing list that has literally just been set up. So I don't have the link for that yet, but I'll post that in the Facebook group shortly. That's there because, hey, digital detox is important. If you guys are jumping out of the Facebook group and just, not keeping tabs on what's happening in there for a moment, all good, we all need a breather. That's fine. Just so that if there was anything important that's coming up, it's going to be in that mailing list. It'll be in your email when you're ready, and it's relevant for you to have a look and get onto it. So they're the sorts of things that we're going to be posting into the mailing list, especially when sort of new content comes up. If you missed a lecture, if it's a live lecture, that there's going to be a recording somewhere for you to have a look at. It might be a topic of interest, and we don't want anyone to miss out on anything. So that's why that's there. Speaking of first lectures, Eddie is going to jump in next Friday. We actually haven't spoken about a time
on day. We'll throw some stuff out there, but again, it's all going to be recorded. So obviously, we wouldn't try to aim to get people on, but we're not going to sort of mess around with throwing out 700 times to try to get a couple people on. We'll just throw it out there. Yeah. The point of this is to watch it in your own time. And then, like we said, for you guys being here today, hopefully you can see over the next little while that a few more faces jump on. And again, if you know anyone, coaches who'd be keen, chuck them in the group, share them, introduce them, point them in the direction of this intro. But yeah, we'll get this first lecture up and running, which I'm excited for. As I've already mentioned, it's going to be in my time when I'm up on lectures. We're probably going to be talking and nerding out about movement. So strap in.
Awesome. So
can I just jump in there quickly, Paulie, as well?
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but just to sort of ease your mind a little bit, guys, as well. I don't really feel like there's an expectation that you need to do lectures. If you're consuming for a while and you're nervous about doing a lecture or anything like that, that's okay. We want to share as much as we can, and we'd love for you guys to share as much as you can. But that doesn't mean you have to. So don't feel like there's pressure to do that. I know sometimes people can feel like, oh, I'm not really as clever as this person or that person. That's fine. We're all started somewhere. We've all learned somewhere. So don't feel that you have to do lectures in the next month.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's probably a good point.
Really good point, Marty J. Yeah, like, and a lot of what I would like you guys to do early on in this is ask questions in the group. Just the act of asking a question starts other coaches thinking about the answer, thinking about the topic, thinking about the everything in and around it, and that in itself is a learning experience. So, you know, like we're putting some stuff out there a little bit formally and, you know, in a structured sense, so that there's something that we have continuously coming into the group. Like, we would love for the group to become a hive of activity in regards to questions and answers and, you know, discussions and the like. So there's plenty of opportunities to get involved in the group without, you know, the formality of a lecture and whatnot. So thanks, Marty J, for bringing that.
Good point. That's what I said. Like, the team is there to start off and get this thing rolling, and then, you know, we got plans and visions, and I think it's already got me thinking about, you know, maybe reaching out and making some connections that I'd had before, and seeing if there are any coaches out there that do want to jump on and do like just like a specialty, like you were kind of talking about, Marty, with like the running coach. Like, hey, here's how I would do a running program. Like, fuck, that's cool. Like, something that we could all benefit from, right? Like, so there's things in the pipeline, but 100% like consume, ask questions. It all helps us for sure.
Cool. All right. We're going to wind it up. But
do we want to open it up for any questions or anything as well, boys? Just at the end here.
Yeah, I just want to read one thing, and then we can like open up to some questions, just kind of like summarize it, and then
Eddie's gonna sit. He's just gonna read a.
I got this. I saw this thing today. It was really kind of just hit home in terms of what we're doing. You got that slide? Yeah. So this is just the last bit of it, but. So again, just in reference, I've been over the last 4 months, been doing a course with a company called Prescript. The guy that developed Prescript, Dr. Jordan Shallow, is a chiropractor by trade, strength and conditioning coach. And it just so happened that this morning I went onto my Insta, flicking through as we do, and jumped on, and he has like an ask me questions thing. And someone said to him, how to sell yourself as a fitness industry in a people's industry. And his response just kind of really hit home. And I sent it to Paulie today, and it was like, cool, we're going to launch this thing with this in mind today. So it goes like this. He said, share, don't sell, but understand what sharing means, at least what it used to mean when we were kids. Sharing used to be sacrificial in nature. Sharing carried with it an understanding that you were giving something up so someone else could become closer to whole. It was an attempt to break our selfish, possessive paradigms as children in an attempt to become socialized, with never an expectation of gaining anything in return, and in some cases ending up worse off so someone else could be in a better place. Sharing now has been reduced to a stupid arrow-shaped button that you click in hopes that someone might repost, like, comment, or generally engage, in the hope that you gain something from sharing. That's not sharing. Sharing is breaking off a piece of yourself for others to have, and understanding that you never needed that piece to begin with. And so it just hit home today when I hit that, like, that's what I want. And like, as we've spoken about in this group, like, break off that piece, open up, like Marty said, be willing to share, ask questions, and like, let's start something pretty cool here in our little Southwest community that we can affect a lot of people if we're willing to do it. So yeah.
Let's go.
LFG. Any questions? Marty Jones, your Q&A.
As in, am I asking questions, or am I asking if they ask?
You can ask a question if you like.
I'm good for the moment. I'll pass it on. Jenna,
who else is on mute?
Oh, I think just in regards to Facebook, because obviously I'm not on it, and I personally choose not to use it. So I might just have to message
Facebook
the group
Messenger,
for links to the Messenger.
Sorry, Facebook group is the Facebook. It's just the Messenger.
Oh, it's just Messenger. I thought it was like cool.
Yeah,
no, that's cool.
Maybe I should. Yeah. Okay. So just
That's
specifying
right.
anywhere in the slides where it says
thing.
Facebook group, it actually means Facebook Messenger group. Yeah.
Rock and roll.
Cool. Thanks,
I was
Jenna.
like,
That's
fuck.
good.
I was like, fuck, don't make me get back on
You're
Facebook.
all over this, bro. That's so good.
From our IT guy.
Yeah, the super smart one over there with glasses on.
I called it the wrong thing.
The super smart.
Don't confuse that smart collie kid with this smart collie kid.
Wait. not so smart anymore.
That makes sense.
She's got some roots in Collie as well. She's got grandparents in Collie, so there's another one sort of.
Hey, we're everywhere. We are everywhere. We're like a rash.
Jess,
but yeah, Jess or Chelsea, you guys have anything that you want to ask or anything that kind of came up there?
No questions, really. I think this is absolutely epic. And I do like you've covered a few things that I've been kind of hesitant on, like, do I have the opportunity to add certain people that I think would really love the group? So to know that I can, there's definitely a few people that I think would benefit from it and be so suitable for this awesome upcoming group.
Through behaviour.
We're vetting through behaviour.
So if they jump in and they're a bunch of monkeys, they're out.
Fair. I like
that.
Yeah, no, we encourage, like, it's sharing. Yeah, we want people involved. So
I think the thing will be just as we kind of obviously starting off and it's pretty small, that you'll get access. Like if you bring someone in, just kind of maybe share them the link to this so they can know, and then the plan will be to have eventually down the road, like Marty was saying, when we start to gather some content, and it's going to be obviously way easier to have a stored like location for that versus like scrolling up on your messenger as to like when this lecture was on. That information will come out soon that we're in the background already. IT guru over here is working on. So
the next couple of weeks we'll actually have a content landing page. So essentially you'll just point everyone to that page, and the intro and all any other lectures and content that we've created will be there.
Yay.
Else, you good?
Chelsea?
I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I don't have any questions or anything.
Awesome.
Cool. Awesome, guys. All right. Not to keep
we'll wrap it up. We're like, it'll be half an hour. Classic. If anyone knows the same with me, they know that's
absolutely.
When I take a lecture, disregard the duration time that I say and add 30.
No shit, hey, no shit. I just have a quick question for Paulie, like in regards to like starting to set up business stuff. Will you be doing a lecture on like where to go once you finish?
Yeah, there's a lot of topics to cover in that, Jen. Yeah. So I am. I would 100% be keen as mustard to do something like that.
Even just a copy,
to make it as relevant as possible and useful as possible. Just if you want to flip me a topic, or like if you want to post in the group, the messenger, Facebook Messenger group, just like your ideas of like all the types of questions that you have, then I absolutely will put something together. That'd be great.
Yeah, sweet, cool, man.
I think awesome. just on that, while Jenna's just asked that question, it's a really good question. Is the topics that we possibly might be covering. So I think, there's definitely a space for us to talk about, like Ed's going to do the squatting one, there's that space. But if there is a topic in there that we can talk about, that it might not necessarily be about stuff in the gym, there might be other, mental health is always a huge one that we like to talk about and cover. So it doesn't necessarily need to be, this is how you move well, or this is how you fix something that's an issue. It might be around another topic that still benefits us all.
When you're
talking about, it might be that business stuff that you're asking about there, Jenna, and it might be around how to coach with styles of coaching and things like that. Good question.
Yeah, for sure. That's the thing, like we said, and then that'll expand out as we kind of briefed at the start with like, once we're kind of getting those topics rolling and there's enough content to sort of separate out into different chats or different channels. As to some of the apps that we're looking at using, like we said, you'll have an ability to target that question to a channel. So it'll be like nutrition topic, fire the question in there, a training topic, fire the question in there, business topic, fire the question in there, and then sort of, I guess, relevance for the coach that feels that they can take on that question or it's most relevant to the stuff that they've done. We'll be able to kind of answer back and forth. And that's going to be the beauty of, as this thing grows, getting people in there, that might just be for a network and have a Paulie background in here. So maybe someone's got a background in business stuff and they're like, cool, this is how I would do it. If it's like legal stuff, put a question in there, we might get someone in there that's able to answer through. So this is going to be the whole networking side of things that as it grows and grows and grows, we're like right now, you're going to get what we kind of know and our experiences. And obviously, as the community grows, we're going to get more knowledge, more experiences. We're going to learn, and on that end as well. I want to be as a consumer as much as I want to be a giving some information to the crew.
Sweet. Cool.
Cool.
All right. Well, better hang it up because I'll keep talking.
All right. Thanks, guys.
So,
Thanks for jumping on the call, and look forward to chatting to you guys.
Look back at this
group.
one. This one.
All right.
You were the first crew on it. Let's do it.
Yeah, OG.
Let's go.
Thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks for
All right,
jumping in,
take care.
guys.
We'll talk soon.
See you, crew.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.